We are very close. We are within a minute. We are now officially opening the St. Joseph County Public Library board meeting on Monday, June 27th at 4:15 p.m. And as we have two board members who are on the Zoom call, I'm going to go through a rundown of board members. Please announce that you are here and that you have received your materials. Marvin?
Yes, I've received the materials.
Okay. Alan?
I am here and I received my materials.
Terry?
I am here and received the materials.
Anne?
I am here and I received the materials.
Ruth?
I am here and I received the materials.
Don?
I'm here and I received the materials.
And I am also here and I have my materials. So we have determined a quorum. With that, I'll move to the library board minutes of the meetings held on May 23rd, 2020 and June 7th, 2022. Excuse me for misspeaking. Do I hear a motion to approve these minutes?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. Marvin?
Aye.
Alan?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Ruth?
Aye.
John? Aye.
And I also approve. They are approved. With that, we will move to the director's report. Trish?
Christine. I have a very short report this month, mainly some main library news. We have now hired more baristas, so the cafe hours are expanding a little. Last month I told you they're Monday through Friday till noon. Now they're till 2, so 8 to 2 Monday through Friday. We also wanted to update you on the study rooms at Maine, and because there were questions about how they work. They're first come, first serve, and they can be reserved 1 day in advance if you decide you're coming the next day and you want to call or go online to do it. Some of the rooms have TVs in them for use by the patrons, but you can always bring a TV into a room that doesn't have one mounted on the wall. And they've been used so far since we opened in November, 423 times. No, wait a minute. That was not since November. That was just June so far. Sorry, 423 times and 868 attendees in the study rooms.
I was just about to say, I use the study rooms. They're wonderful. And the day that I used them was just a regular day of the week at 1 in the afternoon. And if there are 8 of them, I think 6 were full. So absolutely. Very wonderful, yes. I did have a question about the technology. I was in a room with a TV and I pressed the button, of course, and it showed all the various things. Could I go in and watch a Netflix movie in there?
You have to have an account.
Okay.
So you can log in if you wanted to.
So you could log in as a member and actually use those services. Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
Also a report on the lunch sites program. I mentioned last month that the school corporation was bringing the free lunch program here to the main library, and we started on June 6th. It's for ages 0 to 18. So far, about 20 to 30 kids are getting free lunch every day at the main story house. And they also bring free lunches to go to the off-site story times that Sandy takes out, and other outreach events. Another item that happens at Maine is we've been having a lot of tours. So this month we had 3 tours that were official, and one had 5 people, one had 7, and one had 13 for various groups. The Green Township Homemakers is still a group, and the South Bend Press Club was also one. Both of those things seem superfluous, but anyway. So we have had 117 events in this building since the beginning of the year. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of a rundown of what kind of, no, again, it wasn't since the beginning of the year. It was this month. I keep forgetting what my scope was. It was this month, 117 events so far. And Lisa will tell you how busy they are in her department. Various groups such as professional organizations like the Real Estate Investors of North Central Indiana, they meet here. The South Bend School Corporation meets here. Philanthropic organizations such as Habitat and Alpha Kappa Alpha, as well as the Community Foundation. Social services and by the Real Services people are here. Workforce projects from Indiana Small Business Development Center and the Indiana Youth Institute Youth Worker Cafe, that's a mouthful. The intern program that I think that the chamber puts on, I think that was our intern program. And then we put on programs in this building as well. So last week, for instance, the Physics and Ballet, Symphony on the Go, and there's also social events, the baby showers we've had, and patron bookings. Besides that, there was a preschool graduation in the auditorium from El Campito, I think. And I know I didn't get to come see it. I wanted to see if they had little caps and gowns. But, and then a patron booking for a Bible study group, which of course we allow. So that's the kind of things that this building has been hosting during June. Also coming up this summer, very soon, the projects at the branches will be starting at LaSalle. It's an outdoor space. We have a grant for that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for the shelter. Part of the shelter.
So there will be a shelter and a seating area outside of each branch eventually, where we're starting at LaSalle as a pilot. And then at Western Branch, we're piloting the
study rooms. Yep, there will be 2 study rooms in the what used to be like a cafe vending machine.
That's something those city branches never had, and so and they're asked for that type of use by patrons. And we thought, well, we're really not using that little cafe space. We had taken out the vending machines a long time ago. There was no reason for it anymore, and we said, you know what, we could put a wall in between and make 2 rooms out of it. What was your question, Alan?
No, I was just going to say, I'm sorry, you said at LaSalle we're doing.
LaSalle will be an outdoor project.
So what's it going to be? I'm sorry, can you just describe that again? I think it's great. I just want to know exactly.
Yeah, on the south side of the building, so kind of facing the school that is there, there will be a paved area with seating and a permanent structure, like a shelter.
Will it just be like an open air cupboard?
Yes.
A gazebo type thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Similar to what we did at Tut during COVID, we put up a gazebo in the parking lot because there is no good grassy space there to do anything, and we called it the Learning Pavilion. And so it's people sit there all the time and use Wi-Fi even when the building's not open. And then at LaSalle, they'll be using it for
programming, outdoor programming, or for Wi-Fi use for a place for the kids to hang out after school.
Thanks. I'm sorry.
Let's see. Then I would like to mention summer reading, just to give you an update, but Jill is here at the end of our meeting. She'll be giving you a better update than I could give. So just stay tuned for that. And then the patron engagement statistics this month are all over the place. The card signups are down in May, but we know they're going to be back up in June because that's a lot of what we did this month with the reciprocal cards changing over to people that have to buy the guest card now for $50. Wireless use is the biggest winner this month, through the roof compared to other years, and it appears to be mostly at Maine, although I know they use it at the branches. And the door count is higher than the last 2 years, but I don't think it's still as high as it was pre-COVID. So I think we still are seeing the effects of that, and it could be some time before those numbers come back to what they used to be. New cardholder retention rate is 41%. And almost half of our card holders right now are active. So that's a really good sign, I think.
I have a question about people buying the $50 membership.
Yes.
Do we have a count on that? Or
Oh. No.
But we
Put that together, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Send them along.
I know I gleefully invited people to do that because they wanted to use our services. And I said, for $50 a year, you are welcome to do that. Some Mishawaka residents. So I was hoping we got a few new residents. People just love this place. And if they want to use the services, I think that that's a very inexpensive way to do it.
We sent a lot of letters out telling people that based on the address we had for them, they were going to have to buy the card. Some of those people got in touch with us and said, actually, I've moved and I live in South Bend now, so I want a, resident card. And that happened. But then several said, yes, sign me up. I can't live without the library. And then many said, no, thank you.
Well, I'm talking about people who weren't using any card at all.
And
So
you were
brand new members.
Mhm,
Yes.
That's great. Yeah, and that's something that I'm sure Jenny can report on this month. She has the numbers on that. Okay, financial report time. Kelly, do you have?
But we still have to
Oh,
vote.
you still have to vote on that. Sorry, I jumped.
I have a question too.
Yes, sir.
The curbside service, do you expect that to continue or was that a
I thought about
COVID driven?
mentioning that.
Okay.
I mean, we said that was something that started during COVID and we said we were going to keep doing it and the numbers just keep going down and down, but it's not anything that we have extra staff for, so it's not a cost to us per se. It's just a matter of being there when someone needs it. And every once in a while, we come out of the building at the south entrance and there's a car sitting there waiting for something. It's just very rare though these days.
There's
I think
signs up at the branches that have their phone number on it to call, so people can still use it, but it doesn't really, it's no extra work.
No, so I think we'll just keep it. It's just of course, that's my opinion and not the new director, so we'll see what she says about that.
It's good for 3 days.
I agree.
Oh,
yeah.
good. Stephanie says yes. So.
Forever.
Forever.
But thanks for bringing that up. I did think somebody might notice those numbers and want to ask about that. Anything else?
Christine?
Yes. Oh, yes. Hi.
Hi, guys. I have a question. And I don't know if Trish knows about this or not, but I was wondering if there's any progress was made on the discussion about using WUBS and using the Spanish station for recruiting.
Kara knows about it, Marvin.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
We're in discussion with communications about that. I know that we brought it up with communications and Marissa and Jenny wanted to have a quick discussion about it, and Jenny is on vacation. So
Okay.
but it's in the works, Marvin.
Okay.
It was a great idea.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Other questions, Alan?
So I'm just curious, so in May 2019, total visits to main library was 24,500, it says. Exactly. And it says that May 2022, 11,350. That's in that, the drill down, if you could, there's additional data you get. So I'm curious, that seems like it's much, I mean, percentage wise, it seems like most of the other branches haven't dropped that much. Do we know at all or have a sense, was there something special going on in May of 2019 that would have been so much higher, or was that, are we really less than half of? I mean, you think the main branch, it seems like it's more popular, there's more kids, there's more people around, but is that right? Or
I'm trying to think back to May of 2019.
I know.
Me
too.
We were getting ready to move out, but that was still 6 months away.
Weren't we doing special events every day, getting ready to move out?
As branches began to close.
I think you had some branches closed.
That was May of 2020 when COVID
I mean, like
closed.
Francis that month, May of 2019 was 11,200, and then May of this year was 8,000. So we dropped from 11 to 8.
Yes.
You know, center from 8 to 6. I'm just curious. That seems unusually. I mean, you think we would have done better.
I do think some people got out of the habit of coming downtown and they found.
So we really, even though it seems like with things going on.
And I do think people are doing a last hurrah right before we were leaving Main Library.
We did see that.
Yes, people were really
Coming in droves because, yeah. They wanted to see the train one more time, although, this was earlier here, but I don't know, I really do think that a lot of things have changed since COVID, that people are just not going out still as much.
And it could be the timing of special events because those do bump the numbers. So like summer reading kickoff party,
right,
or something like that could happen in one of those months, but not the other.
Did we also at those times have our volunteer guest celebrations? They were in May, weren't they?
They were. Did we have one in 2019, Kara?
We did, but that wouldn't have
made a huge difference.
That would have been one event. It was one event and it was maybe 200 people came one day.
Maybe somebody can take a look at like.
I made a note.
Going back, yeah, maybe we can get a sense. Give us a sense.
Sure.
Good idea.
What we're saying. Or we can ask the new librarian to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a note of it.
I'll send you a text message.
Thank you, Alan. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Marvin?
Aye.
Alan?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Ruth?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And I also approve. Thank you. With that, we will move to the library bill list. Kelly?
First, I have the financials. So the target expenditure rate through May 31st was 42.31%. Currently, our expenditures are running about 6.5% below that, or about $1.2 million below our budget. Although salary and wages are 20% over 21, but that's due to the opening of these buildings. We're still monitoring utilities and miscellaneous services for repairs. Anything that requires repair parts or skilled labor obviously has gone up, as well as utilities. So we're monitoring those costs. Our expenses by category with our construction expenses included salaries and benefits are running about 53%, materials about 17%, and our overhead is close to 30% due to those construction fluctuations. And we ended May with about $24,683,000 in cash.
Any questions for Kelly? Hearing none, I would call for a roll. Marvin?
Aye.
Alan?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Ruth?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And I also approve. With that, can we move to our acceptance of our gift log?
I got to bill list.
Oh, okay, let's do bill list.
So our bill list for the month is $2,234,318.27. Of that, $783,255 were bond payments that are due twice a year. We also had 3 payrolls on this bill list of $688,296, leaving claims at $762,766, which is a little bit below what we've been running. We did not have a payout for construction in this because they didn't get it to us in time to process. So there'll be 2 payouts for construction in July.
Okay. Do we have questions about the bill list?
I have one. The utilities, the air conditioning's out, obviously electrical. Is the heat all gas now, or is part of that been turned into like a heat pump or something?
Well, we do have gas, I think at most. We do have one, I think it's one branch, Sarah, that's a heat pump.
Actually, I was thinking of this building primarily because of the efficiencies that we.
This has some upstairs heat pump, yeah.
Okay.
But we're still working on trying to get all of this, regulated and monitored with some controls that we're doing with our facility study, and that will give us a better idea. We're just learning. We have nothing to compare it to.
That's fine, thank you.
Other questions? Okay. Hearing none, I will call for a roll. Marvin?
Aye.
Alan?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Ruth?
Aye.
And John?
Aye.
I also approve. Now we will go to the gift log, correct? Would anyone like to address our gift?
Yes, Teachers Credit Union. So they gave $3,500 for our Explore Story program, which is in the fall. And that is one of our bigger programs. And they gave at the highest level of sponsorship. So we call that the bestseller sponsorship.
Well, we thank the Teachers Credit Union for being a bestseller. Do I hear a motion to approve the gift of $3,500 from Teachers Credit Union?
So move.
We've got a motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, I will call for the roll. Marvin?
Aye.
Alan?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Ruth?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And I also approve. Thank you very much. We will move to personnel changes. Trish?
It's another long list. A lot of movement in the system still. And our teen interns are on board now. Right, Kara? Forgetting how many there are.
There are
5 or 6.
4.
Okay.
They're at city branches and then here at Maine with the teen librarian. There was one city branch that did not get a teen intern this year, but normally they would. We had lots of interest in that program this year, and it was really exciting to see all those teens applying and even younger than we would allow, and they were just banging down the door to get in. So that was good.
I should have asked you this before, Tara, but we also are tightening up our subs, our sub roles, our substitute librarians. So they help out when we're short-staffed, and there were a few that hadn't been taking the time that the minimum amount of hours to be on the list. So those are the administrative terminations. Some retirements and some other resignations.
I just wanted to go back to the interns.
Sure.
Is this connected with our effort to increase recruitment among minority populations?
Yes, yes. The goal of that program was to reach those kids that hang out at the branches after school and say, hey, you want to help out? You could do this for a career. So.
Okay, excellent. Good.
So the last one I wanted to mention there was the accounts payable specialist that we had for many years, Terry Cook, retired on May 31st. So she's been replaced in-house by a person from another department who moved up to full-time that way and is really doing well, Kelly thinks. Fabulous. So we're always happy to grow them in-house until we make another vacancy.
Yeah.
Yes, Alan.
When we use the term administrative termination, does that mean that somebody was terminated for cause? Is that what that means?
It's kind of a special term that we use when it is for cause, but it's not like they were terminated in the way that with the negative connotation that you think. It's kind of, okay, there's some kind of either they like in this particular case, it was we tell them that they have to work at least one shift per pay period, and everybody on that list hadn't worked in the last pay period. And so it's kind of like they're not being fired necessarily. It's just, okay, they didn't meet the requirements. Okay. And so, yeah. Okay.
And it could be like an FMLA leave or something like that.
Not, yeah, they run out of time in some way, yeah.
All right.
Any other questions? Any other comments? Hearing none, I will call for the roll. Marvin?
Aye.
Alan?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Ruth?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
I also approve. Thank you very much.
Christine?
Yes?
I don't know if you saw, I put a question in the chat about if specifically we could hear about the diverse makeup of the teen interns. Like there's you know, the number?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what their demographics are, but I could get that information and let you know.
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be interesting because Anne asked about the effort for diversity, so I just wondered if the outcome matched the effort.
Intense, right?
Well, we can include that with next month's report, if you wouldn't mind. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. If anybody sees questions in the chat, let me know. Okay. There were no meetings of library board committees, special meetings in the last month, so there's no report. Is there any unfinished business? None that I am aware. We will start with new business, and let me show those of you who have the board agenda, let me report that there are no change orders to report. So I feel like I'm missing a part of the meeting, but we'll start with acceptance of property casualty insurance renewal.
Okay, Kelly has the report on that.
So we were really pleased to get the numbers for our property casualty renewal. Even with the increased square footage of this building and all of the extra increases from the construction, our policy only went up about $5,000. So our coverage, the breakdown is in your packet, but the total premium for June of 2022 through June of 2023 is $165,653. There is a caveat due to a death in the primary owner of our asset valuation company. It was delayed about 3 months. So they are just finishing that up. And so when we send that in, if that changes our equipment, our FFE, furniture, fixtures, and equipment, it could change the premium just a little bit, but we don't think it will be substantial.
Questions regarding acceptance of property casualty insurance renewal? Could I hear a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Marvin?
Aye.
Alan?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Ruth? Ruth? Oh, okay,
Muted.
you were off.
Sorry, I was muted. Aye.
John?
Aye.
And I also approve. Thank you very much. Space rental price change. Lisa?
Yes, we have 2 rental price change requests. One is for classroom F. Currently it's priced at $75, but we want to lower that to $25. And that would match the cost of classroom C and E. And we want to do that because it's actually the same size as classroom C and E. When we set it at $75, there was an error in the calculation of the capacity, so we thought it was larger than it really is. So we want to correct that by changing that price. And then we have a holiday premium rental price. So this is a request to set a price for when an event occurs on a holiday when the library is traditionally closed. This came about because we did recently receive a request to do a New Year's Eve wedding, and we're usually closed on New Year's Eve. That's a popular day when weddings occur, and we have staff who are willing to cover. So we would like to offer events on those days, but that would cost us more in staffing. So we are proposing that we double the highest amount that we have for these spaces. And it's in the chart here. You can see each space and the holiday rental price, what we set it to. The 2 requests.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any questions for Lisa?
Actually,
I have
this
a
is still
question.
good deal.
Pardon?
This is still a good deal for people.
It's still a
At the
very good
increased
deal.
price,
Yes,
by far.
yes. Yes, question, Ruth?
Yeah. Well, I have two. So the person or the wedding that requested the space, was that before or after you set a new price for holiday?
So that started the discussion about having whether we wanted to offer our spaces on holidays and then what that price would be. So we did get the request before we made that decision to make the proposal.
So I guess what I'm going after is, did they experience a price increase after their request?
So when they made the request, we kind of put them on hold and we just told them we have to consider it. And I know our event specialist, she will get back to this once the proposal is accepted. She will go back to the patron and let her know the costs, and we'll see her response.
So no contract has been signed at this juncture?
Yes.
And then the other thing. Go ahead.
I was just going to say there was no opportunity to even book it on that day since we're closed. So that's why they approached and asked about it, and then they had the discussion internally about what to do.
Okay, and so since I've never booked a wedding on New Year's Eve, and John says that's a good deal, I just wonder what did you have any baseline of other venues? Like, how were those prices set?
So we relied a lot on the knowledge of our venues and events specialist, Denise. She has 25 years of experience at the Morris, and and she's also worked at a country club at both weddings. So she gave us sort of the background on what these weddings would cost. We still are below what's usually charged at other spaces.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions, comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the roll. Marvin?
Aye.
Alan?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Ruth?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And I also approve. Great. Next agenda item is budget 2023 budget calendar. Kelly? Well, it says the word budget is in there, so it should be Kelly. Yes. All right.
So we're asking you this year to move up the time frame for the public hearing and adoption of the budget, simply because when we do it in October, and you can see the deadline to submit is October 31st. So if we were to have any kind of, we hope not a lack of quorum or something like that due to things that have happened in the past, we could run into a real time crunch to get the budget adopted. So it gives us an extra kind of cushion. So we're asking to July 25th, we start to preview, August 22nd, we do the public hearing, and September 19th, we would adopt, which is a little bit, everything's moved up a month from the past.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions for Kelly?
I know what she's talking about. We've run into that coming up against the wall in the past. This is a smart move.
Good.
I promise that's the last you hear from me tonight.
Oh, don't make promises you can't keep. You never know. Okay, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Marvin?
Aye.
Alan?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Ruth?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And I also approve. Next on the list is the agreement with the city for the EASSI, Energy Assistant and Solar Savings Initiative. And I understand that's what Joe is going to talk to us about. Is that true?
Yeah, well, Joe can certainly answer any questions that you might have. Joe is the Assistant Facilities Manager for the library. He's been working with the city since they invited us to be part of this initiative, and he laid out the application and talked with the folks over there about it. So Joe, do you want to tell them any more specifics?
Yeah, I'll keep it brief. Basically, it's a program with the city we applied for and we're accepted into. And it's a free energy audit provided by the city on one of our branch locations. And they'll kind of help us give some recommendations on where we can be more energy efficient, whether that's with LED lighting, AC units, new windows, things like that. And then part of that is they will provide grant money for us in the range from $2,500 to $10,000, and it's a matching grant, so up to 50% of the project cost. So if we did a $5,000 project, the library would be on the hook for $2,500, and we would get grant money for $2,500. That's kind of the gist of it. It's through their Department of Sustainability.
Joe.
Alan has a question for someone.
I was just curious, Joe, have we identified a particular branch that we're planning to do?
Yeah, so on our application, we did limit it to our 4 city branches. And we've had some internal discussions. We do want to try and steer the conversation over to our Tut branch. And we'll obviously take some of their recommendations as well, but the initial thought is we would try and target it for some AC replacements, both because of the current age of those AC units and to get some better SEER efficiency out of it so we can lower some of our utility bills as well.
Thanks.
Thank you. Other questions for Joe and or Trish?
I have one question in reading this letter. Can I go? So in the last paragraph, I think there's a duplication. I think that a portion of it was done twice. So starting in the 3rd line, periodicals, radio, television, and other news and educational media.
Oh,
and
I
then
see.
It starts over.
Okay, Rachel, we just have to, I haven't signed it yet, so
No, right.
We'll fix that. And
I mean, I kept reading, I was like, wait, what?
Sorry, I missed that.
No, it's not a problem.
Good catch, Anne.
Oh, thank you very much. So then I'll ask for a motion to approve the amended letter and proposal.
So moved.
Second.
Any other further discussion on this? Hearing none, I'll call for the roll. Marvin?
Aye.
Alan?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Ruth?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And I also approve. Thank you very much. With that, we'll go to E, Library Board Resolution to declare excess withdrawal library materials.
I move that we declare the materials set forth on our board packet under 9E as being excess as part of the comprehensive deletions.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
I noticed that some of the equipment is being sold to the Friends. How does that work, or how much is it sold for?
It's basically just the nominal amount of $1, and then they can sell it as they wish.
It's just included in what gets.
Right, the same amount that we do the printed materials.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions? I will call for the vote. Marvin?
Aye.
Ellen?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Ruth?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And I also approve. Thank you very much. With that, other business, any other business? We'll move on to hearing of visitors, and I will ask if any members of the public would like to address the library board.
Yes, I would.
Okay, so please identify yourself and your address, and you have 3 minutes to speak with us.
My name is Frank Nemec. I'm at 1250 East Farrington Circle in South Bend, Indiana. I attended last month's meeting and submitted some documents. Ms. Coleman was nice enough to let me know that she had made copies and given them to everybody. Someone would be contacting me. I have not heard from anybody, so I'm just checking to see if I've missed anything or I should just wait. I do pro bono work being retired, so I have a busy schedule, and this is important to me. I was the individual that was wanting to rent the auditorium for a local minority group. I was denied because somebody claimed they had prior approval or access to the auditorium. And that's why I wish to meet with the board, which was part of the request. I have some concerns. One of them you've just gone over is the pricing. Using commercial pricing distances low-income individuals further from participating in library functions and the community. And it's a serious consideration. You're furthering the distance between poor people and the library. I'm against it because the library has always remained neutral and should. And it's becoming more political. That's it for now. I would like a status update on my meeting with the board.
You will be hearing from us in letter form.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate the time, and I look forward to talking to you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public who wish to speak? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to our news and educational items.
Okay, so there is one conference report in your board packet this month, and from a youth programming specialist who went to a local thought leadership conference. You might find it interesting. It certainly was a different kind of conference for a librarian to go to, but I think she got a lot out of it. And now for Jill Williams, the youth services manager, recent manager to our downtown branch. And she's going to tell you all about summer reading, which we've been doing a couple of weeks now, right?
Yes, yep. And I have a presentation that Rachel's going to bring up. Good. So just a brief update about our summer reading program so far this year, and a few updates about the teen room as well. So the theme this year for summer reading is Oceans of Possibilities. And these are some of the graphics that are a part of this year's program. And a little bit about the program structure. This year it runs from June 1st to July 31st. And there are 4 age groups. There's the Early Literacy Club, which is ages 0 to 5, children ages 6 to 11, teens 12 to 18, and adults 19 and over. And each of these age groups tracks their progress a little differently. So the early literacy group, they track their progress in books read. Every 15 books they read, they earn a prize, and they complete their challenge at 45 books. It's a little bit different for kids just because with ages 6 to 11, you could be having picture books and Harry Potter sized books. So for children, they track their progress in minutes, and they earn a prize for every 200 minutes they read, completing their challenge at 600 minutes. Teens and adults, we wanted to make it as easy as possible for them to track. So they track in books, they earn a prize or a raffle entry every 5 books, and they complete the challenge at that 5-book mark. And we were interested in comparing some statistics just to see how the program's going so far this year, because we weren't entirely sure if people would come back this year, they would come back to public spaces, engage again in summer reading programs. And compared to this point last year, we've had an increase of about 116% in signups. So people did come back. They are signing up for summer reading, and we're really hopeful that that trend will continue throughout this summer. We were also interested in comparing to 2019, kind of the last normal pre-COVID summer reading year. Comparing this point in the summer to 2019, we're seeing a decrease still of about 40%, which makes sense for us looking at the number of people who are coming to the library, that's still a little bit lower. We're seeing a lot of families who are coming back who said, we just got out of the habit during COVID. So people are rebuilding that habit that every summer their children do summer reading. And we're hopeful that with the increases we've seen this year versus last year, that's going to continue to be a habit that families build. And now just a little bit about our lovely teen room. We do have expanded hours for the summer. So normally during this weekday, it would just be open after school. But during the summer, we're open Monday through Thursday from 9 to 8, and then Friday and Saturday from 9 to 5. So I'm sure you can imagine there's not a huge amount of teens at 9 a.m. But we have started to see, yeah, unsurprising. But we have started to see more teens trickle in earlier as they're realizing, oh, this spot is quiet. My siblings are loud. I will sit in here. It's just kind of a private spot to use the computer, read, enjoy their coffee from the coffee shop just in silence. So it's been great. We're seeing them a little earlier in the day. They're staying longer. So we're really glad to have those expanded hours. And we've also been fortunate enough to add some arcade games. When the Smart Box transitioned their exhibit out, we were fortunate enough to continue to borrow Ms. Pac-Man and Space Duel, which have been really cool additions to the teen room. People walk by the window and just kind of stop and stare. So we get a lot of questions, and teens who didn't really notice this space before, they kind of play Pac-Man, and they came in and then they stayed. And so it's been really nice to have those arcade games in the space.
Thanks, John. I actually have two questions. I see that the summer hours are expanded because of school things, but what about homeschool kids in fall and spring?
Yeah, so when we had our homeschool meetup programs, which I understood were at least once a month, that space was open a little bit earlier. And so they were able to go in and have those experiences too.
Okay, well, that was one question. My other question is there a deadline for the summer reading program?
July 31st is the last day that people can log their books, and then they can receive prizes up through, I believe it's August 6th, and then raffle prizes through the 31st.
Okay, then my question is, are we advertising this with our free lunch program?
We do have different flyers and everything at the front desk for the free lunch program as well as summer reading. So a lot of families come and sign up for summer reading and then ask about the lunch sign and vice versa. So that's been cross-promoted. Okay.
So those are my three questions.
So I have a comment or question. It had occurred to me pretty soon after going on the tour and thinking about the library and being thrilled about it, imagining my own grandkids, two of whom are tweens, they wouldn't be allowed into the teen room, but they're too old for their early childhood room. And it did occur to me that it seemed a little light for that age group. I will say that my grandson is visiting. He's 9 years old. He came, he hadn't been through the library. He kind of went through the early childhood, and then he got to the area where was for that age group, and was immediately attracted to the magnet tiles and made this huge structure and had a great time. And then we were walking out and saw the checkerboard. And so, of course, we were there for another hour and a half. So that was great. I was very happy to see that. Just keep that in mind. Make sure that that area maybe grows or expands, because they don't have the focus, same like a special room that the others do. But he loved it.
So often overlooked age, and it was a harder one to design for. You know, think hard about what to put there. But I do like having the STEAM elements there, and
those booths are really nice for them to
yes.
just hang out.
Yes, yes. Little booths. So,
and the nice thing about the teen area is the collections outside. So even if you can't go into the room, you can still have all the materials.
Right, that's true.
Christine, I have a couple questions.
Okay, Terry has questions too. So can you? Okay, Ruth, you go first.
Thanks, Terry. So I realized that I missed the Adult Reading Challenge sign up, and we're halfway through. But I'm going to tell you, board members, I'm going to dog you all next year to sign up for that reading challenge, because we've got to set a good example on this. So
it's not too late. I don't think it's too late.
No, you can still.
I can't do 5 books in a month. I can't.
And or won't. Anyway, that's okay. Thank you very much.
So I have
another question.
Yes, actually, as a comment on the Thought Leadership Conference, I'm really delighted that one of the staff went to that. It was a great conference. I also went to it, and I was particularly interested in her recommendations for action, especially since during the hiring process, we heard some comments about communication and communication between the main library and branches. And so I was thinking some of those restorative circles might be useful to improving that issue. And we have several really good circle keepers in this community. So I'm going to be watching for that. I think I would love to see some of those suggestions that she made implemented. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Other comments? Yes. Questions?
Yes. Regarding the younger age group, I think it's at 0 to 5. Does somebody read to the younger ones? Do they count a book because it was read to them?
Yes, absolutely.
I thought so. Yeah, 1-year-olds reading, you're way ahead of me.
That's a new category this summer.
Yeah, it's something we're trying. What's been really cool to see is that a lot of the time, the older kids who come in to log their books with their siblings will tell us, I read to them. And so they've both been able to have that experience together.
Okay, and question 2, we have a number of neighbors, not sure, I guess it's the age, their grandparents and their kids will come and stay with them for a few weeks off and on. To attend this, do the parents have to have a card? Does the kid have to have a card, or can anybody come?
Anyone can sign up. A card is not required, so they can sign themselves up, grandchildren up, whatever they like. We're happy to have them.
I'll make sure to get something into their hands for next year, I guess.
Good. Other questions or comments? Hearing none, we just want to thank you. It sounds like great programs going on. And I'm sure that even though we haven't achieved 2019 numbers, we're heading in the right direction. So yes, thank you. With that, we will move to the next library board meeting, which will be Monday, July 25th, 2022. I do believe it will be in this room, classroom B, until Buter Kernan gets all of its
fabric wrapped panels.
Until
easy to say.
It's not. and we think those are coming in this month, or in July. Sorry, July. So we might. I just wanted to hedge the bets.
We'll be in one of those 2 rooms, and you will know. And with that, I would. We have another question from the audience. Yes, sir.
Well, just a comment. Your interim director is retiring this week.
Well,
from service.
Not retiring. I'm going back to my other job.
Oh, you are? I thought you were retiring completely.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Oh.
So we do want to thank you for the service you have given us. Appreciate you bringing that up.
Yes.
Those of us who run the meetings can't think during the meetings, but you've done so much, and thank you. And we will look forward to next month's meeting when Miss Stephanie Murphy will be running the meeting. So thank you for being here and thank you for all you've done. Thank you, Trish.
Yeah, I just want to second that because it made so much difference for that transition in that period of time. Good. For us, I'm sure for the staff to know, that you were in place. So thank you so much. I'm sure it wasn't easy doing 2 jobs, but
yes, it was a challenge, but and sometimes one job got more attention than the other. But I was glad to help.
Thank you so much. With that, I would entertain, thank you, Jim. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I will call for the roll. I think I will call for the roll. Marvin?
Aye.
Alan?
Aye.
Terry?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Ruth?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
I also approve. This meeting is hereby adjourned.
Very good.
Good job.